Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Coley, and welcome back to another episode of The Green Room. Today, I'm going to talk about something that I actually wasn't planning on talking about today, but, and I want to talk about the work that no one sees you do. The work that nobody sees is the most important. And I've thought this for a long time, but, today was a good act of remembering. All right. But yeah, so yesterday when I'm recording this, I don't know, I was just kind of down in the dumps. Things aren't bad. Things could totally be worse. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I just wasn't in the best of spirits. I was not in the greatest mindset to work on creative things. So I got this main channel, and it's all Scooby-Doo related kind of thing. I want to do videos that aren't just Scooby-Doo. Like, I like Scooby-Doo. Kind of weird that that's the niche I fell into. It's really strange. But, I'm making this Wii Fit video, and that's actually how I kind of got started making this channel in the first place. And because that the Wii Fit video isn't Scooby related, I already think it's going to fail. And I really want YouTube to work out. Like, I don't really know what else I would be doing if YouTube, if this doesn't work out, really. It's pretty discouraging, I'm in my room into the night, recording narrations, editing the video, putting down music, doing all this stuff, and I feel like that it's like pointless. Nobody's seeing me doing it. Like, I don't think anybody's gonna watch the product I make anyway, so what's the point? But there was one time I went outside and I went for a walk and I saw this guy running. It was just me and he was running the other way. And what was more impressive is that he was running uphill. I was walking downhill, he was running uphill. This is just in my neighborhood. And all we did was just get a subtle nod, when you're walking down the street or something. And that's it. And he went on his merry way. And I knew that what he was doing was tough, man. And he wasn't doing it for anybody else but himself. And he wasn't there to... A nod was probably more than he thought he was going to get that entire run. He thought that he was going to just run alone in the neighborhood. Nobody pay attention to him. And I don't even know who that is. He lives in my neighborhood and I have no idea who that guy is anymore. But I might be the only person that really understood what he was doing. And it's the work that you do alone is the most important. You live with yourself 24/7, man. Your brain... Isn't it weird? Oh, just a side tangent. Your brain isn't connected to your skull. It just floats in there. Isn't that gross? Anyway, but you're there with just your brain and your heart and your soul, and like that's it. Like, you can have a partner who can help you so much, and you can have family that can help you so much, or friends that help you so much, and that's all great. And who doesn't want the social company? But they're not you. They're not in your head. It's important to be comfortable being alone. And oftentimes, when you need to incite change, it usually comes from yourself. There can be external factors like inspirations or motivations and things like that, but those only last for so long, and you need you. Be proud, being alone for a little bit. It shows some independence. It shows some sense of self. It shows that, be comfortable with you. We all make mistakes. We all have our own problems. We all have things we wish we could fix about ourselves, but how boring would we be if we didn't have those things? We'd be like round as SpongeBob. That sucks. I have a lot of interests. I want to learn guitar. I want to learn how to draw. I want to write my own book. I want to start a YouTube channel and actually have it be successful. I want to make an album. There's a lot of stuff that I really want to do with my life. And I've done a lot of great stuff so far. I've had a lot of accomplishments. I've lost a lot of weight since I started my weight loss journey, like 2 years ago now, and I know a decent amount about guitar. I know how to play most of the important chords, and I know how to Travis pick, and I even taught myself how to draw in a week, which could maybe a whole lesson video entry on its own. That was kind of crazy, but nobody saw me do that work. Nobody saw me sitting down and plucking at a guitar string for like 2 hours figuring out how to play a song. Or nobody saw me draw something horrible and crumple up the paper and throw it away. Or snap my pencil in half because I was just so angry. And nobody saw that. Nobody saw me in the gym either. There were some days I was like the only person in the gym at my school, and I didn't know what I was doing. Those days were important. But you got to remember, in the midst of what you're trying to achieve, those moments where you still do it anyway, that's a huge victory. It's huge. That is more than so many other people. It's incredible. And I think a really good way to have that accomplishment is to remember that the work you're putting in right now is the most important. And thinking about guitars, Eric Clapton had day one, Mozart had day one, the Beatles had day one, Ronnie Coleman had day one. Anybody you could think of that you really want to do, they had their day one. Everybody knows like Einstein or Edison or I don't know, or any other scientist, you know? They all had their day one, and nobody talks about their day one. Like everybody just talks about their accomplishments, but their accomplishments could have never been made if they didn't put in the work that nobody knows about, you know? And honestly, you know, people forget like the struggles and remember the accomplishments thing. You can do that to yourself too, like a lot. One of my best videos ever on my channel, I remember being in just hating the process of making that video for a while. Like I thought that video was going to be garbage, and now I barely remember what I even struggled with when making that video, because I, you know, like, oh, it's a great video, it did well, that's the accomplishment, I did it, yay. Like you need to remember where you came from. Isn't it crazy? The work that nobody sees is the most important, and sometimes you don't even see it. It's crazy. I think I talked about, I totally did. I talked about, I love To Kill a Mockingbird. That's one of my favorite books now. And that book was written by Harper Lee. And everybody remembers this book for being great, or just like the book you read in high school. But if it's a book you read in high school, then that means it had to have been pretty successful or pretty important, I guess, you know, because otherwise I wouldn't be teaching it to you. I looked up kind of the story of how that book was even made, and it sounded kind of terrifying. Like the work that she had to put in to make that book. She quit her friends like gifted her money so that she could quit her job and just focus on the book. And she spent hours and hours lamenting over the tiniest of details and in which order things should go where and all this other stuff. And it seems very daunting and crazy. A lot of editing. Nobody cares about that. Nobody understands how important that probably had to have been for her. And it's that work where once you do kind of achieve some kind of success with whatever you're working on, or some goal is achieved, you're kind of just like, oh, like it's kind of downplayed. But you never want to downplay your work. You never want to downplay your work. I do it all the time. That's a really important part of growing, is to look back at your work and see what you've done and reflect on it, and not just critique it, but appreciate what you did. I've made things that, you know, looking back at it, I think I could make better today, but I couldn't make it better today if I didn't make it in the first place. You ever think about that? I think about that a lot. Be proud of the work that you do on your own. So anyway, when I was, you know, kind of down in the dumps and stuff like that, I had to look at it from a different perspective. And I need to realize, listen, man, if this video does bad, then so what? You know, if this thing that you created is bad, so what? Then you know what you could make next time. Like, you've narrowed down your options of things you can create, you know? And regardless, it's great practice. You pick up a paintbrush and you paint something crappy on a canvas. You could say, oh, I wasted the canvas. Or you could say, well, now I know even more about painting. The important lessons in life, you kind of have to keep teaching yourself over and over and over again. Because I go through this rodeo every single time I make something. At the beginning, I think the idea is really cool. I'm excited to do it. And then along the way, I hate it. I think it's the worst thing ever. I'm like, this is so stupid. Why did I decide to do this? I'm wasting my time. Oh my God. All this other nonsense. What I'm trying to say is that I had to relearn the work that nobody sees as important. It's a rude awakening to start following your dreams or make something you think is cool happen. Because usually the things that are cool in life, or that are really awesome to create, or whatever you want to do, it does not come easy at all. And, you know, some people break from the slightest resistance, and you can't blame them, because, you know, to accomplish something, I don't think you want to focus on the end result. You don't want to focus on the goal. Eventually, you may realize that the goal doesn't even matter, you know? You're thinking about that goal, but what you really need to fall in love with is the process, because a lot of the work that you put in to doing something, you're gonna have to do it alone. You find out a lot about yourself when you do things on your own. We're all on this floating rock. We're trying to live life. Everybody's trying to find the meaning, but there isn't the meaning. It's your meaning. And your meaning could be many meanings. And many meanings could mean many things. And to get to where you want to go, it could be down many paths. And maybe there is multiple places you want to go to. God knows I do. But you got to put in some amount of work. You don't have to like kill yourself practically. God. But I don't know if anything I've said is cohesive. I guess if future me, if you're listening to this, or anybody else out there who's struggling to continue and keep moving forward, or thinks that they've hit a dead end and that there's nothing left to do, it's gonna be okay. All right, take it. I got it from experience that it's probably gonna be okay. It's a little snag, you know? It's a little thread that came undone from the shirt and spiraled out a little bit. But just remember that I recognize your work. I may not know what it is, I may not know what it is you're doing, but I think real peeps know what's up. Just gotta keep trying. Like gambling, you know? 99% of gamblers quit right before they make... what is this? Anyway, I hope this didn't seem scatterbrained or anything like that. Still kind of new to this. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll, yeah, I guess I'll see you next time. Sure.